life at the time, when I really needed them.
So 1993, you win a national championship with Cuse. Was that your senior? That was your senior year.
Yep.
All right. So you win in your senior year, which is pretty cool. Talk a little bit about that season. Like, is that memorable, or do you have a more memorable season, even though like you maybe didn't win it all?
In '93 was awesome. We had a great group of guys. Not really the huge marquee names as maybe some of the other Syracuse teams, but we all loved each other, played hard for each other. We shared a lot of time on and off the field together, and it was just a great group. And the year before we stubbed our toe to Princeton and lost in overtime at Penn in the overtime game there. So that certainly stung. So coming back, beating Princeton in the semis to kind of revenge the '92 loss, and then go on to beat Carolina in the finals was great to cap it off.
Cool. And your playing career, it extended after that '93 year. Can you talk a little bit about what you did in the '90s as a player?
Yeah, and like I said, I got done in '93. In '94, I was actually was heading to Buffalo, New York for the Buffalo Bandit tryout. We had this huge snowstorm, so I never went. So I never got to try out for the Buffalo Bandit. So didn't play that year. And then the following year, 1995, Rochester was an expansion team from the MILL Detroit Turbos. So Rochester started the franchise, got an opportunity to go up to an open tryout, made the team, and like I said, was very fortunate to play 15 years all with the Rochester Nighthawks from '95 until 2009.
Wow, what's maybe like one memory that stands out in your 15 years of just kind of playing the NLL, and like what was that experience like? Because we talked about it earlier, like if you're playing in the NLL during that time, especially as a rookie in those first couple of years, like you got to really play for the love of the game because you're not getting compensated as much as you might getting a full-time job elsewhere, working for another company in a different field. So, talk about what that was like to go from getting a couple $100 maybe a game or $100 a game to, being a part of a league that's just flourishing right now.
Yeah, I mean, back when I started playing, it was the MILL Major Indoor Lacrosse League, and we were playing in front of huge crowds. It was an awesome environment. We weren't getting paid a lot, but you were treated like a professional. Huge fan base going to the Philly Spectrum or the Buffalo Odd, the Boston Garden, and playing in these huge historical the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And then when the league switched over to the NLL in '98, players formed a union and things were kind of. It was just fun to be part of those growing years, but see towards the end of my career, the guys making more money, the league's expanding, and then now with the new commissioner, the last couple of years it's just been awesome, and the growth and where it's trending is really positive for the National Lacrosse League.
Yeah, the commissioner, he's taken a lot of pages out of some of the other professional leagues' books, right? And that's really helped kind of like grow the league in a positive way.
Yeah, he's got a soccer background and certainly a ton of experience. And I think the ownership groups, seem to really like his vision and where it's going, where it's the growth, but also the different internet, TV deals and stuff like that. So it's really trending in the upward way, and I'm excited to be back, involved with the New York Riptide.
Now, you're a general manager and you're a coach in this league. Like, when did that transition period happen? Was that in year 15 when you said, "Hey, all right, I'm gonna stop playing. I'm gonna start managing, coaching," or was it kind of you did a little bit of both?
Yeah, no, I got done playing in 2009. It's funny. It's not funny, but our old ownership was selling, and I was actually coaching Six Nations Junior A, Six Nations Arrows Junior A team up in Canada on the Six Nations reservation, and Kurt Stiers was a big part of our organization there. And we just happened to be sitting down having lunch one day, and he said he wants to. He was interested in buying an NLL team, and I was like, well, Rochester, our owner was getting out, so I actually did an introduction meeting for him, got him to the table together. Kurt ended up buying the Rochester team, and then that year I came in and I was at the end of my career and was general manager for the 1 year. I loved it. Kurt was a great man to work for in the organization, but had an itch. Gary Yate called, and I ended up going to coach for the Syracuse University women's lacrosse team, where I spent the 10 seasons there. So, yeah.
What was that like? That's that's obviously some people might look at that as a drastic difference. Maybe for you and Gary, how you ran the team, it wasn't. Talk about your experience, being at Cuse, and talk about some of your successes and, just like your coaching philosophy, working with a high-level girls program that was – now, was that their first year that they got going when you joined in 2010, or had Gary had the program already kind of off the
Gary
ground?
was in when I got there, he was in year 3.
Year 3. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your experience there for those 9 years.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I never, didn't have a ton of experience, coaching, women's lacrosse, but Gary was like, hey, we coach like just lacrosse, right? Whether it's men or women there. So Gary was a great mentor to me and to work with, and he really let you, lead and definitely wasn't a micromanager, and so we had some great years there. We were close a couple times down here, and a bunch of Final Fours, a couple finals appearances. So we were close, but like I said, we won a lot of games and had some success, and but more importantly, I think we just we really built that that culture that Coach Simmons Jr. built for Gary and I, where you care about your team and the family, and you communicate. And excited, I just think the players just had a really good experience, and it's just been great to all those years to have you start going to the some of the players' weddings, and you follow them, you see them grow, and now they're coaching or their jobs, and so it's just been great to build that culture that Coach Simmons really installed in the heyday of the program with Syracuse University, and we certainly tried to do that.
You see a lot of Cuse girls getting into the college coaching ranks or high school coaching ranks, and I think
Katie Rowan, right? Is Katie Rowan a Cuse girl?
Oh yeah.
And she's
Coach
now
Rowan,
taking over the Albany
Katie
program.
DeFelice, right? Coach DeFelice.
She's the assistant. Wasn't she assistant up there?
Assistant up there for a little bit. Coach DeFelice.
That was coaching up there.
She was at Stony Brook.
No, Defo. Defo's still there. Yeah,
Defo's great.
Yeah, she's great there.
I know. Well, I know. Like, I can just tell you, like, you're a family man. Like, that's a big part of just who you are personally, with like you and your wife, and then you kind of bring that to a lacrosse program, which is nice to see because when we talk about the success of programs, when we kind of analyze and talk more about high school than anything, just because that's what we do here. We love to see how coaches prepare boys and girls for college. That's in our opinion, that's the definition of success. It's like, all right, you have 5 state championships. That's awesome. Like, that could be a byproduct of the community that you're in. You have a great youth program. You have all these studs coming through the ranks. Like, what are you doing though to prepare those kids and make sure if they want to go to Ohio State or if they want to go to a local community college, they're ready to go. And I think for you, as a college coach, someone who assisted in a great program, like making all those Final Fours, like that's great. That's part of success. But I think it's really about like, all right, how are you connected with your girls who graduate, and how do you prepare them for the next stage of life? And it seems like from some of the pictures I've seen, like, for example, I think I saw you coaching up some of the Cuse girls at Placid. Were those alumni? Have you done that before?
Yeah, years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. Like, that's an example of how you built that family, kind of atmosphere within the program. And that's success to us.
It starts with Regy and Gary and the people that are mentoring these girls, and that's probably why they had so much success.
Yeah,
because they were such a great team, and you taught them to play as a team.
Yeah,
they weren't individuals; they were a team.
Yeah,
that's kudos to you guys.
Yeah, it's a great group, and like I said, we had a lot of fun too. I think we always try to do stuff with the players when we go whether it's to Florida and stuff like that. So we were very fortunate to do a lot of fun things with them and make it more than about lacrosse there.
Yeah.
So.
Is there a big box influence in how you and Gary taught the girls?
I think there always is. I mean, obviously a lot of the 2-man game stuff that a lot of the colleges are doing, and I think Gary was putting that in years ago. Probably when he was with Maryland, coaching, winning championships with Maryland years ago. But yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously the coaching style and the way our players play, and I think you can definitely see that flavor of box lacrosse.
Yeah,
for sure. I
think it's cool how open Gary is to teaching and sharing his knowledge. He's always at the U.S. lacrosse conventions, and he's posting videos, and then in turn your players are becoming coaches and sharing their knowledge, and it's just like very similar to what I'm sure you do with 3D, not just within the organization and how you kind of coach and educate and train your coaches. Like there's just like a general sense of passion for the game where it's like, okay, like this is lacrosse at the end of the day. Like if you want to ask me questions about how to do things, I'd be happy to share those with you.
He said Gary was always great about, open practices. I can't tell you the amount of people that have come up from other colleges, high schools, and there's nothing to hide, right? It's just he's a true ambassador of growing the game for the better, and that's been great.
Can we talk a little bit about now your experience taking over the U.S. men's indoor national team? Pretty cool experience. I think one of the best years they've ever had up at the tournament was this past year under your leadership and you coaching the team. Can you just talk about the process of picking the players to be a part of it? Why'd you kind of form that team? How did you find success? And maybe just talk about some of the personalities there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think the number one reason of again, success, we think it was a step in the right direction. We still got bronze, right? At the end of the day, we still got third. So, and we're still chasing the Iroquois and still chasing Canada. But I think there was just a lot of positive steps. And the first just being, U.S. Lacrosse really, helping us to have camps. We did a 2.5-year process and had 5 training camps where we could, bring in, much like they do with the field teams on the men's and women's side. So that was just good to see the support of U.S. Lacrosse from the top down, supporting us so we can have some of these camps and scrimmages and see, get a good pool of players going in it. But it also helped by doing those camps and the guys, learning and playing and working with our staff, that a lot of them also went on to play NLL last year, and so we had almost every guy on our roster, our final roster that went to Langley, British Columbia for the World Games, either, current on an NLL roster or a practice squad or drafted or was retired. Like in Anthony Kelly's standpoint, he was 39, he was retired. So I just think that the process is probably the biggest reason, and we were close. Obviously, it didn't hurt having Tommy Schreiber go down a couple weeks ago, before, and then Ethan O'Connor, who was one of our top defenders, plays for the Buffalo Bandits. He went down playing in the summertime a couple weeks, about the same time Tommy went down. So having those two key guys on your front door, back door, didn't. But at the same time, guys stepped up, and we were super proud of them. And guys battled. It was a really great locker room. I think that's what we were trying to do is create a good locker room environment. And we had a great pool of players throughout the process. And I think it was a good experience, and we communicated with them. And we're looking forward to that player pool to just grow more and more this year, and really be able to for the next World Games to really be able to choose from just a higher quality of a player pool.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Did U.S. Lacrosse, the organization, help grow the pool of people? How did they help? Like, besides, is it more financially?
I think just, organization support, obviously in support comes financials, just really across the board. Our coaching staff and general managers and assistant general managers, we came out, went out and got the player pool. So, they were, they do let the coaches, get in the staff of who they want to get in the player pool. So, but I think just from the support in the again, financial, yes, but just the support of having the events, committing the time, committing the resources, travel, just a lot of logistic stuff too. That just takes time, throughout the last 2.5 years. So it was a great build up. Like I said, I really felt if we could have got over that hump and have beat the Iroquois, and the worst case we would have got was a silver. I thought that would have been a gold for us this year, as crazy as it sounds there, but like I said, we're trending in the right direction. We got more Americans playing. We'll have more Americans in the NL this year.
Yeah.
And next year's class coming out, you got some good young bucks coming out of NCAA next year, Americans that are going to be on a lot of NLL radars as well. So I think the future is bright for, I think, Americans playing in the NLL.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Frank, do you mind just pulling up the first picture? Just as we continue to talk about this, just because, and you can even, if you want, scroll through the second one after we leave this up for a little bit for our viewers to see. I was going to ask, as it relates to U.S. Lacrosse, I guess my question is, why? Why is U.S. Lacrosse saying, box lacrosse is important to us? We want to be successful at this. We want to put resources into this. We want the game to grow. In your opinion, why are they saying, hey, this is important here?
Well, I just think it became one of their events starting in 2015. Before when I played, it was just run by a separate organization, and we would fundraise, do different things. We'd have some generous people, but throughout those World Games, we were all we weren't under the sanction of U.S. Lacrosse. So it changed in 2015 when the World Games were in Syracuse at the Onondaga Nation, and so I just think they saw that and taking over the program in 15, but then just where we needed to go, and the U.S. wants to win gold, and you want to win gold, you got to put in the resources, the time, and the energy into that. So we understand that the standard is gold. So we have a lot of catching up to do to the Canadians, to the Iroquois, and then these other countries are chasing our butts, and you got England and Israel and the Chucks, and everyone's getting better too.
Sure.
So again, I think the standard is gold, and I think they're committed to doing that, and it's lofty goals, but I think it can be achieved.
Yeah, it's so exciting. One of the best times of the year, and it's just based around a sport that I think is one of the most global and popular, is the FIFA World Cup. And just to support a country in anything, but especially a sport that's especially on the girls' side, one of the fastest growing ones at the high school level and youth level is really cool. And I think I'm sure that's a part of it too. It just makes sense. Kids are asking probably for it, and more kids are playing it. And box, which we'll get to in a second, is growing on Long Island, and with the Riptide coming in, it's only gonna help. And I think more and more kids are gonna be introduced to it. And we we're gonna be saying throughout the winter now for years to come, as long as the Riptide are here, guys, if you think you know what box lacrosse is, you have no idea until you go watch the best guys in the world play. That's why we're going to be sending them to the barn and saying, hey, you got to go watch the Riptide, because that's how box is supposed to be played, not you guys shooting down the alley on a little box goal. That just doesn't happen at your level.
It's gonna be great education to the lacrosse community.
Yeah.
No, I thought he had a question. No question for Cliff.
No, he's just. Yeah,
as you can see as the backdrop to the BYG show tonight. That's the barn Corey's talking about. Which
they made some slight modifications. It looks beautiful, but it was a little more I don't know, blue collar, I guess would be the right term.
When the
Isles are there full time, which is pretty cool. They're playing there though still, which is awesome. People love it's just a great venue. It's gonna be a cool spot, and I think the NHL Islander fan is gonna easily transition to becoming a fan of what you're gonna be doing with the Riptide. There's so many parallels to the sport, between hockey and box. You kind of feel the same.
100%, and again, it's just getting people out there to those first couple games, and I think once you just like our hashtag, get pulled in, right? I think once you get to a game, much like maybe the first hockey game, I think again you're gonna get pulled in. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, and it's going to be a process. It's going to be take some time there, but we're excited to get it rolling, and we really feel that to compete in this league, you can't play 18 road games. You got to have those 9 home games. So we need to pack the barn and get people in there. And
right.
I know the people of Long Island are very passionate, and we're like I said, we're hopeful that we're gonna have a great crowds in there and give them a good product on the field to cheer for and support.
I think we were told earlier, we were hanging out with Jen. Your team has more Americans than any other NLL team. Is that true? Or you guys are up there?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, I'm I don't know that factoid, but if Jen says it's probably right. But I would say yes. I would say yes. And we have a good combination. Our ownership group, GF Sports, is a great organization. They want to win.
Yeah.
So we mixed it up with the Americans and Canadians and Native Americans, and like I said, we feel we're putting together a good mix. Our staff's done a great job preparing. We got like I said, we got a great staff of Assistant General Manager Lance Bassler, our Director of Operations, and then our coaching staff and our scouts. They've done a great job throughout the expansion draft, free agency, and the entry draft, and just working their butts off to again give us the best opportunity to compete right away. With the new division alignment, with going to 3 divisions, top 2 teams in each division make playoffs, and obviously that's going to be our goal.
So there's no wild card or anything like that. So it's just 6 teams. That's it.
There will be 2. Yeah,
there'll be 2.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
8 total. But in our division, we're going to have the Georgia Swarm, the Philadelphia Wings, and the New England Blackwells. So we're going to be playing them 3 times each. So I think there'll be some good rivalry games in there. And again, we're looking to compete and complete for a playoff again, which is lofty goals for expansion team. But we said our staff's done a good job, and we'll see what we get.
The Thompsons are on the Swarm, right?
Yes. Yep.
The Thompson boys from Albany.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Frank, can you just pull up that third picture? I know we're going back to you. I just think it's really cool. You got an opportunity to share, a moment and coaching your son up with the national team. What's it like getting a chance to just, forget about the lacrosse stuff. That's not as much I want to talk about. Just a chance to get to see your son and do something that you love. He gets to do something that he loves. What's that like for you, just to have that continued relationship and be close, professionally now too?
Yeah, Gail's he's a good player. He's played box all of his life, and he grew up playing on the reservation since he was 5. We were fortunate. I was coaching with a gentleman named Freeman Bucktooth, the famous Bucktooth family from upstate New York, and coached with him at Lafayette High School and coached a lot of the Native American kids. And Gail got invited to go down and play. So since 5, he was playing there. He really enjoys the box game, and like I said, it was a fun experience. I know he loves the box game, and fun for him to go there and play against a lot of the current NLL pros of the different teams, and just compete and see where his compete level is and where he needs to go. He's got a lot of work that he needs to do, but I think it was good to. I think he had a great experience. Like I said, we had a great locker room, but also just competing against those high-level athletes on those other teams. Guys that he's looked up for years. I think it was certainly motivating for him.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's also great when you have your son and he's in a locker room with a guy like Brett Maney, who's been doing it for a long time and is a quality mentor and probably was a great big brother to your son.
Yeah, I said our leadership was awesome. With Joel White and Brett Manning, Chris O'Doherty, Greg Downing, Joe Ressateris.
Oh, I didn't know Chris was on the team.
Yeah.
Chris is a great guy.
Yeah, they rotated the season A's all over the 2 weeks for us, but great leadership, and it was great for all of our guys, all of our younger guys like a Connor Kelly, and some of these other up and coming, I think NL stars, Matt Rambo, and so just great for those guys to get that leadership and how you handle yourself on and off the field. Sure. Playing as many games as we play, and your downtime and just really the on and off the floor stuff. It was crucial and was great leadership.
Yeah, Rambo, he flew in right from the PL championships. Did he miss any of the play, the pool play?
We had Matt Dunn, Connor Kelly, and Matt Rambo missed the pool play the first 3 games.
He missed 3 games and they still climbed back. That's pretty.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I obviously if we would have had those guys in those first 3 games, I think they would have got a few more. Because they haven't played all summer, right?
Yeah.
Like Connor played 7 games for San Diego last year. Matt Dunn played almost every game for Georgia.
Yeah.
And then Matt Rambo, played every. But a lot of those guys got done playing in May, and they haven't played in months. So if they would have been there, to get those reps, those first 3 games, I think would have been crucial. But they were playing the PL championship. That was our agreement going into it.
Yeah.
I respect that as a team, as a teammate.
Sure.
They made the championship to bail on at that would be tough, but. I think going forward, hopefully they get the dates resolved.
I was just going to say that. Shouldn't they do that?
Yeah, I just think it was just probably some oversight. But again, we're very happy and fortunate they were there.
Sure.
And they made the commitment to get there. And
also, the PLL started late, right?
Yeah.
The PLL was, so I'm sure that had something to do with it, right?
Yeah, but they. So it was good. Like I said, the guys in championship game, we respected that, and we feel we needed those guys to compete, and so hopefully going forward, we'll work that out. But again, the World Games are every 4 years, so hopefully we'll be able to work around that. We have plenty of time to do that.
So we have 2 minutes left.
I want to talk about the Riptide. I want to talk about.
Yeah,
let's name some players. We just mentioned Connor Kelly.
Let's talk about the players, but we got to give our question away because we're giving away tickets to the home opener.
Oh yeah,
at the barn. It's gonna be ridiculous. We're excited. We're pumped up for the season, and I think there's a lot of people that follow us that are excited too. So the question is, And just so you know how to answer the question and be eligible to win the tickets, you got to shoot us a DM later, and then the Riptide, and then FLG.
Where are they shooting the DM?
They're gonna send it to FLG Lax, or you can send it to Riptide's Instagram. You guys are New York Riptide? Mm-hmm. New York Riptide. No underscores or anything, just New York Riptide. Thanks, Jen. Always looking out.
Jen Hildebrand,
Jen
head of
Hildebrand.
marketing.
Huge pickup, by the way, for the Riptide.
Team mom, team aunt, team sister.
She does everything. We're going to talk about a bunch of good players. The Riptide, their success is going to fall heavily on because Jen's involved. Coach Thorpe, too, of course. But we've talked about enough about you today. Okay. All right. So what high school program, number one, first overall draft pick in the NLL as well, going to the Riptide? Ty Gibson. What high school program is he from? What high school program, Ty Gibson? You got to answer it tonight, and you'll be eligible to win, tickets to go to the home opener, which is pretty sweet.
The home opener is December 28th, right?
Yes,
December
sir.
28th.
Yeah, against the Saskatchewan Rush.
All right, the Rush, who they're legit. That'll be good.
Who's the head coach for that team?
Derek Keenan, a.k.a.
Ithaca
Jam.
College bomber.
IC, baby.
He just wanted you to say that so he can talk about that.
You got it.
Shout
Hall of Famer, too, by
Shout
the
out
way.
to the Bombers. But, yeah, let's talk about some of the in our last minute here. Let's talk about some of the guys that are on the Riptide and, who are you excited about to coach up here?
I mean, we got Danny McRae in the expansion draft. You got to start with him. He was the captain of the Calgary team last year that won the NL championship. So
Wow.
he's just going to bring that leadership, we're going to need there from day one. So that was awesome. Johnny Ranigan, a 5-year vet from the Georgia Swarm. We got him in the expansion draft. NLL champion as well. Kieran McCardle, local boy, played in 3 years experience with Toronto. He's ready to take that next step. He had unbelievable World Games for us. We couldn't be more excited about him. Connor Kelly, CK. I mean, he got a sniff of it last year in San Diego, but he had unbelievable World Games as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're super excited about him. And like I said, we got some other guys, Alec Bouquet as well, goalie. We're pumped about him. But like I said, our Tyler Digby we also got from the New England Blackwoods in the expansion draft, and then I mean, there's a lot of other free agents. We
Sure.
felt we did good. We got some good Americans, some good local kids as well, some Canadians and Native Americans in there. So we're pumped about that. We're pumped about our draft, our entry draft.
Sure.
Getting a player like Tyson Gibson, who's an unbelievable on-ball player, off-ball player, gritty front door guy. He's going to put up a ton of points this year. We're excited about that. And then to pick up Tyson Bomberry from Syracuse, Six Nation Reserve, Junior A Arrows. Used to coach him. Guy's a truck, man. He's big, tough, strong, great leadership as well. But
You won a Minto Cup there back in the day too, right?
Yeah, him and I won in 2014. But
Yep.
And then we, like I said, all the other guys in the draft we feel really good about too. We picked up the Farrell kid at 24, face-off guy. Certainly picking him up early. We understand how important face-offs are, so we're hoping to get him out. He's never played box before, but we feel with that he can really adjust to the game good. Jake Fox. So we like I said, some good guys there in the entry draft, good free agents, good expansion. So we're excited at the compete level at camp. Guys are going to be battling for 21 roster spots and 4 practice.
Now, last thing I want to kind of mention, like, you've had a lot of success as a player and as a coach. Coaching the Cuse women. Obviously coaching Junior A. Just as a player. Like, why are you taking on this new challenge? Like, this is not going to be easy. And while there's a lot of good people involved, and I kind of see it. Like, why did you decide to take on this challenge from the first place?
I just think that from the first from the first conversation we had with GF Sports, Gary and Eric and Tyler, their vision and their passion for this team and their 5-year commitment and the long term and their financial commitment. And they just want to do it right. They want to do it with the community, which I love, kind of like the old Coach Simmons. They want to do it on and off the field the right way. So just to see their passion has been unbelievable. And I knew right when I talked to them from day one, I'm like, this is where I want to be. So it was just a feel. Went home, talked to my wife Amy about it. I just said I had a real good feel from these guys and their passion and the GF Sport guys and we just took a leap of faith, and we're excited about the opportunity and challenge ahead of us.
Cool. Yeah, well, we're definitely going to be supporting you guys, and we're excited for you, and we really appreciate you coming on Beyond the Game tonight, Coach.
Thanks, Gore. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, man. Of course.
Great having you, man.
So we next week, pretty cool. We got Kylie Oldmiller coming on of of the U.S. women's team.
The franchise too. Michelle Tumo's the first franchise.
She's number 2. Yeah, she's great.
Well, don't forget Kayla Trainer either. So
of course, yeah, you got to throw Kayla in there.
Then you got Katie Rowan. Yes. Then you got, if you say that, Alyssa Murray. then you better mention Katrina Dowd. But
yeah, there's a lot of
go all night.
It's so true.
And you don't want to leave Shannon Smith off on the island here. She's hoisted a couple trophies over. So.
Yeah, in her day, absolutely. She has some career.
Yeah, she still is. Yeah, Hofstra's gonna be good this year. You got to watch out for the
they
prize.
recruited some good island girls.
Yeah, she's legit. So yeah, we got Kylie coming on, which is cool. She'll be talking about the women, getting going next weekend, and she's resting up. So she said she'd come in for a little bit and talk to us, which is awesome. And yeah, it's good stuff. We're excited for next week. But again, thank you so much for coming on. December 28th, home opener, and it's gonna be a good winter. We're feeling good about it.
Awesome. Thanks for the support, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep, you got it, man. We'll see everyone next week. Went over a couple minutes. No, that's good. We could have kept going. I was trying to stay on track here.
One of the things we try to do is try to keep it concise so that you don't lose viewership.
Just like a conference call, right?
Yeah.
click.
Yeah.
The beep's going.
The other thing I want to do is, if you want to take this, we're going to cut it up. So if you want to cut it up and use it.
Yeah, we'll just send you all the clips that we cut up. We usually do it. We take like 4 or 5.
Our interns cut it up.
Where do you stay when you come down here?
I've been staying just at the LI Marriott.
Oh, perfect.
Right there by the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Lance is down here, Bassler. He's our assistant GM. He's got a spot, him and his wife. And then a couple of my friends, I got all the parents down there, like, come stay with us.
You have like too many places to stay.
So, and then if you pick one over the other.
Oh yeah, word gets out that you're staying.